Hi, it's Marco here. Is Ideanomics dead? Because the stock price has been going down. Well, in this video, I'm gonna look at the worst case scenario and the best case scenario. Let's dive straight into it. So the first thing to look at is probably the worst case scenario, which is that Ideanomics is a company that is burning through cash. They literally are not making enough cash to sustain themselves, and they are basically not a profitable company. And I just wanted to show you how much cash they're actually burning. This is very important. Later in the video, I'm going to look at the good case scenario. So first, let's have a look at the cash flow statement. That is something that many people don't look at because everyone is looking at the income statement, but not many people look at the cash flow, which is the actual amount of cash that is burned by a company. So if you look at it, you see that the company has been burning a decent amount of cash in 2019 and 2020, but it pales. The amount of they burned back then pales compared to what they've been burning in 2021. So it's about, especially at the end of the year, they really went all out and they about burned 20 to 30 million a quarter, which is quite a lot. Just that's from the operations. Then if you also include that they spent quite a lot of money buying businesses, well, that's when you see that the amount of cash that is burned is even more. If you also consider that that's money that they can decide to not spend, well, that's something to look at later and can potentially happen if the company, they decide to cut down on the amount of money that they spend for this kind of expenses and purchases. But the bottom line is that at the time of recording, Idex hasn't even got the new earnings out. So hopefully in the near future, they will come out with the new earnings, and I'm gonna make a new video when that happens. But if you look at the latest and the historical earnings, how much cash they actually have, it's about 250 million. So just to tell you a rough estimate, because like I said, is based on the new earnings that will come out soon. Now, the next thing to look at, and it's still the negative side, so bear with me. Later, we're gonna look at the good side as well, but is the path to profitability. Is Idex a company that has got a clear path to profitability? The answer is actually no. The company does not have a path to profitability at all for the time being. Obviously, they are looking at, finding a way to do that, to get profitable, but it's not that easy. It doesn't sound like they have a very strong plan. And even if you look at the CEO Twitter account, which is something that is not the best, to be honest, look, it just says there is a Forbes official member, blah, blah, blah. But then if you check what he's talking about, it's basically just floundering. I'm sorry, guys, I'm not really a big fan of Alf Poor. Let me know your thought in the comment section. But since he has joined the company, I'm sorry to say that the Idex has not been as, they say, focused on profitability as it should. And also, if you look at his tweets, they're all over the place. They're all over the place. And everyone is making comments about the fact that this company is not profitable. They have to find a way to make as much revenues as possible and then become profitable. But what is happening? They're just talking about this EV ecosystem, but they were talking about the same exact thing a year ago. So, take it with a pinch of salt, what he says, and also, which leads nicely into the next part of the video, is the fact that Alf Poor really likes to make constant acquisitions, and that's something that burns a lot of cash. So yeah, take it with a pinch of salt, because this company is obviously very, very risky in terms of an investment. So if you want to buy, do not just go all in on this one. That's what I'm saying. And also, by the way, just a bit of a spoiler alert. Yes, I am still holding Idex in my portfolio. I've been holding it for a while, and yes, I'm in the red as well. So am I crying about this? No, because the amount of money that I have in Idex is very small. So if I lose it, well, I will still be able to sleep at night and definitely be able to live a decent life. I will recover from this financial loss. So that's kind of where I'm at, but also looking at the good case scenario now. So is Idex a company that is then to just throw away? Well, actually, no. If you look at what happened in the past, there's been quite a few instances where the stock price has really gone up substantially. So if you look at, for example, what happened in 2017 from $1.50 to basically $5. So it more than 3x. And the same story was from 2018 to basically still 2018. So you see the company, and also obviously 2020, it went from $0.50 to a whopping $5. So you see that this company has got the good habit of basically doubling, tripling, and going up in price very substantially. If you also look at the longest time horizon, you see that the company really went down a lot. But if you just look at, for example, the last period, you notice that there's been quite a few times where the company really popped and really went up like a rocket ship. So it's something that the company does periodically. And the question then becomes, obviously, is this a good time to buy Idex? Because we see that sometimes the company pops, so you want to do it before it pops. So the answer is yes, no, well, it depends on the Fed. So if you have a quick look at the Fed balance sheet, which is very important these days. So based on that, we see that the balance sheet obviously grew a lot in 2020, and now we are seeing a bit of a plateau going into this area, and that is the plateau that was announced, that we've been talking about on this channel so much. So it was expected, and that is why the stock market has first of all plunged, and that was also due to the war, but now is the reason why the stock market is falling again. So we first of all see this plateau, and then after that we will see an inversion. So the balance sheet will reduce, and going from a very healthy and growing balance sheet, going basically shrinking down, and the money will be basically just sucked out of the bond market and automatically from the stock market as well. And that is actually, I'm sorry to say that, incredibly bad for stocks like Idex, but also other speculative stocks, because the moment of incredible exuberance we had in 2020 was due to basically the Fed just pumping money into the market. Now we are going to see the complete opposite. So the bottom line is that for Idex, the very near future, and I'm really sorry for sounding a bit bearish, but we need to take the good and the bad of everything. So just basically take things as they come. So the very near future is not positive for Idex. Now, if you want to buy into Idex, feel free to do that. Just be careful, because it's a very speculative play, and you might have to wait for years and years until you see a pop, let's say a very strong surge, as I showed you. It happened quite a few times over the years, and now we might have to go through another 1 or 2 years of just bear market, and then few months of craziness where the stock price goes through the roof. And if you subscribe, I'm gonna make even a new video when the new earnings come out, because it's gonna be very interesting. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.